So the question is, should you buy Bitcoin? Should Honda buy Bitcoin? Should you stay away from Bitcoin? Should Honda stay away from Bitcoin? This is distilled knowledge from billionaires, academicians, so you can make a good decision without wasting your time. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Honda Show. On this channel, you will get honest and free advice about business and personal finance. All you have to do is like the video, comment below, and subscribe to the channel, and you are on your way to financial independence. Last time Bitcoin was in news was in 2017, and at my job then I had a few girls who worked with me. Their boyfriends owned some Bitcoin, and they asked me if they should sell Bitcoin, hold on to it, and I told them to sell it as fast as they can because they had had a good run. Take your money while you can get it. And then Bitcoin tanked. Well, I did not put my views on video back then, so I cannot substantiate my claims. But this time I'm making a video about it. So next time something happens with Bitcoin, I can substantiate what I told you today in this video. After being down for 3 years, Bitcoin is back in news because it's going up. It's making new highs. It's breaking the previous records. So it's back in news. So the question is, should you buy Bitcoin? Should Honda buy Bitcoin? Should you stay away from Bitcoin? Should Honda stay away from Bitcoin? This is distilled knowledge from billionaires, academicians, so you can make a good decision without wasting your time. The world has seen a lot of bubbles come and go in the past. I'm going to put some major ones on the screen so you can see that humanity once in a while goes crazy and buys these things and drives the prices to astronomical levels. But that does not mean you need to burn your hand in that bubble, in that speculative frenzy. In almost all the bubbles, there are common features. The two most common features that you see in bubbles is either the assets the society or investors are buying have no earnings. These are non-income producing assets. People keep buying them till one day they realize this is garbage, and the person who's left holding the bag loses all the money. You don't want to be that person. Other common feature of a bubble is people buy income producing assets or assets which have earnings to them, but they ascribe astronomical valuations to them with the hopes that the earnings will catch up to the valuations that they're paying for them right now, which is the classic case with Tesla right now. The next video I'm going to make is going to be about Tesla. I think you should stay away from Tesla and you should stay away from Bitcoin for your own good because Grandpa Millennial knows it all. The fundamentals of investing don't change. In this video, I will put my case forward of not owning Bitcoin or any non-productive asset for that matter. So what is Bitcoin? Is it of any value? I think blockchain as a technology will be of value going forward. It is already valuable and it will keep increasing in importance as humanity goes forward. At the end of the day, Bitcoin is nothing but a mechanism to transfer money from one point to the other. Checks are a great way to transfer money, but the checks themselves are of no value. This is nothing but a piece of paper. Credit cards are a great way to transfer money, but the pieces of plastic themselves hold no value. Bitcoin is nothing but a mechanism to transfer money from point A to point B. It does not have any value. It's just a mechanism. So the question would be, a lot of people would be like, but Honda, why does the price of Bitcoin keep going up? Well, you and me, we can sit in a room, we can trade Bitcoin with each other or pieces of turd with each other. We can keep increasing the value. So I sell you the piece of turd for $100, you sell it back to me for 200, I sell it back to you for 300. We can take up the prices to astronomical levels. It means nothing. At the end of the day, one guy would have a piece of turd worth $2 million, which he would have no use for, I hope. And the other guy, he would be responsible for paying $2 million. And that's when the bubble crashes. That's when the penny drops and people realize there's no money in it. So when people get into speculative frenzies, one of the reasons they get into speculative frenzy is they start FOMOing. Everybody around them is buying something, prices of stuff is going up. Your dumb brother-in-law, he's getting rich off of Bitcoin and you want to show him his place. Your dumb neighbor is getting rich from Bitcoin and you want to show him his place. And you can't stand not making money. So if everybody's buying it, and at the end of the day, you're like, I'm smarter than them. I'm going to show them where they belong. I'm going to buy it, make more money than them. It doesn't work like that. So there are only two important aspects of a currency. One is it is a store of value, and the other is a currency is a medium of exchange. The only other thing that you can compare Bitcoin to as a store of value is gold. Even billionaires who have invested in Bitcoin, like the Winklevoss twins and Chamath Palihapitiya, I think that's how you say his name. He's Sri Lankan. He has a very, very big name. Even these guys consider Bitcoin to be gold 2.0. But even gold is not a good store of value. If you look at last 2000 years, what has been the compounding of the price of gold? It has been about 0.2% every year. You can have these periods in which gold prices will go up a lot for like 5 years, 10 years, and then they go down and stay down for next 30 years, 25 years, 40 years. At the end of the 50-year period, the compounding on the gold is not even 0.2 or 0.3%. So that's not a good store of value. If you send a Bitcoin from here at 20,000 US dollars, and by the time it reaches Venezuela, it's 15,000 US dollars, how is that a good medium of exchange? It is not. So on both the parameters, store of value and medium of exchange, Bitcoin flops. It fails miserably. One of the big reason Bitcoin bugs like Bitcoin is because it is anonymous. You can send money across the world anonymously. It is not an attributable system. Well, that is a problem for most governments, and the governments will make sure that whichever digital currency, which I think is the future of the world, but digital currencies are going to be great for poor people, especially because it will give them access to cheaper banking, but it will not be Bitcoin. So the governments will always support a currency which is attributable. By attributable, I means you know where the money is coming from, who is sending it, for what purposes. You can track the money. That is very important for any sovereign nation. It might become big in rogue countries or with drug smugglers, but I think that's where it will stay. So imagine a poor person. He works in the city, saves $5,000, and he wants to send that $5,000 to his wife in the countryside. By the time his wife receives that money might become half. Would that person be interested in Bitcoin? Is that a good medium of exchange for him? It's not. Or it might go up in value substantially in a very small period of time, and he might become a cryptonaire. But can you live with that kind of uncertainty? So let's conclude the video and let me give you 5 big reasons why you should not buy Bitcoin. First problem with Bitcoin. There is no way to value it. It produces no earnings, doesn't give you a dividend, doesn't produce an interest rate. So how do you value that thing? Just imagine for a second, you have one chance to make an investment. You can either buy Bitcoin or you can buy a McDonald's stand. The only stipulation is you can never sell that investment. Now you cannot sell the Bitcoin. You get an online verification that you own it. You can give it to your next generation. So that's one investment. The other investment is you buy a McDonald's stand. You never sell it. It gives you earnings all your life. You can live off of those earnings. And as the earnings increase, the price of that McDonald's stand increases. And then you can give that McDonald's stand to your next generation. Close your eyes. Be honest about it. Think about it. What do you think you want to buy? Point 2. The only reason people want to buy Bitcoin is because they think the price of Bitcoin will keep going up. So they want to buy Bitcoin because they think somebody else will come along and pay them more than what they have paid for. And that somebody also is convinced that some third person will come along and pay them more than what they have to you. If you're not sure somebody will pay you more than what you paid for Bitcoin, would you buy it? Point 3. The other asset that Bitcoin is compared to a lot is gold. Humanity has used gold for a long time, and because of that history and because of psychology, humanity chooses to ascribe value to gold. Bitcoin might take a long time to reach that kind of status with humanity. And even if it does, there is no stopping somebody else to create a cryptocurrency, and they will be created with exactly the same characteristics. What's stopping somebody else to create another cryptocurrency with exactly the same characteristics? Just imagine in 1942, if you bought gold compared to stocks, that gold today would be worth less than a penny compared to stocks, which would be about $1. So that's 100 to 1. Now, would you call gold or say Bitcoin in that situation a good store of value? I don't think so. But even after listening to me, if you still want to put money in Bitcoin, I would not put more than 1% of my assets in Bitcoin and pretend that I've already lost the money. Point 5, Bitcoin is still quoted in dollars and not the other way around. I think I will be ready to buy Bitcoin when the dollar is quoted in Bitcoin and not Bitcoin quoted in dollars. I think Bitcoin is today, and it will continue to be a store of value or medium of exchange for rogue financial players like Zimbabwe, Cuba, Venezuela, Russia, those players. Iran, people who are not part of the legitimate global economy and people who are up to no good. Digital currencies are the future, and they will be a boon for poor people because they can access to banking services on their phones, and almost everybody has a smartphone now. Even the poorest of the poor have smartphones. So digital banking, digital currencies would be a great way to reach the poor and bank the unbanked. but it will not be Bitcoin. It will be a currency or system which is attributable, which is traceable. This will not be allowed in most legit countries. If today I had an option, I would not want Bitcoins. I would want as many dollars as you can give me. So if you don't want the dollars, you only want Bitcoins, Venmo me all your dollars. I will take them gladly. Alright guys, I should have convinced you by now to not buy Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency out there. But if you're still not convinced, drop a comment below and convince me why should I buy a Bitcoin. The ball is in your court now. See you in my next video, which would be on Tesla.